Virtual Radio. This is AchieveRadio.com. Follow us on Twitter at twitter.com/AchieveRadio.
Hello.
Hi, I'm Ann. How are you? And boy, that was a little cool music going on back there. And I'm just getting, are you getting a full screen there? I'm getting like a little bandage in the screen there.
Oh, well, I have a full screen, yeah.
Oh, okay. Must be whatever's going on my side. Anyway, today, Joseph and I are going to show you how to write a book. That book you've been putting aside forever, the one that has the plot, characters, and everybody pretty much all figured out to the point where you've written it in your head so long that now you can't get yourself to write it. Well, today I thought maybe, and the book I am using, Joseph, is called Tarot for Writers.
Oh.
And
okay.
it is by Corrine Kenner, who is Middle Eastern, I believe. At least that's the accent I got from her video. I'm going to have to include her video on the blog. And I had suggest to anybody that is interested in learning how to write to get a piece of paper or open up a document. And if you have some tarot cards, get them, because we're going to show you how to not only pick out your characters, not only how to pick out your conversation, but how to get your plot and how to do the stages all the way from the beginning to the climax to the end. And it's actually quite easy. The book, of course, is much more complicated because not everyone knows how to use tarot. But it is something that I think anyone can do if they have the ability to look at pictures and make a story with those pictures. You know, there's a card game. I remember I went to my son's house once, and he loves to write. And with the grandkids, we used to get together with a story cards, and each person went around and picked a card. And then the first person started the story. The next person took their card, and they added a part to the story. But each person had to recite what the beginning of the story was from the person before it, and then add their plot or their addition to the story. And it's kind of like that. So I'm just going to say that Joseph is the person that wrote that song at the intro of our show.
Yeah, it sounds kind of warped. I think I need to send you a new recording of that. It sounds like it was damaged or something, or yeah.
I think that's on your side because that is that's been with Bill for a long time.
I know it was digital. I mean, yeah, if it was a tape, I'm thinking, what? It's not a tape. It's digital. It shouldn't sound like.
It doesn't sound.
It must be the feed. It must be the feed that I'm getting when I'm hearing it.
Yeah.
Right before because I'm thinking, oh my gosh, that just sounds like it's been through a washing machine.
No, it sounds very good on my side. So I think it's just like you said, that's just what it's going on.
Feed. Okay, now about the tarot. Now, so would you say like the court cards could be your characters because those seem to be the people? And then we have those characters displayed in the major arcana. The beginning from 0 through 21. You have the Fool. Your character could be, say, the characteristics of the Fool. Like the not a fool per se. Somebody who
I would
is.
say
We can
that
create
is
characters.
something
Or
that
you can do a reading. You can do an
that
imaginary
right.
reading, and then because actually the readings themselves actually do tell a story. When we use them to answer questions, but they really do tell a story.
Exactly.
And if you did a really detailed, for say, just have it on your mind, I want to tell a story,
Mhm.
and just do your layout, and then you could do your interpretation and flesh it out into a story. And
Well,
depending upon, for inspiration, like say, what time period should it be set in? Maybe if you're using the Rider Waite deck, that would be more medieval, or perhaps some
yeah.
sort of a fantasy, depending upon the style. Maybe take
You're,
inspiration from the style of the deck you're using. Um, all sorts of things. It's funny because I've
she,
never thought about doing that before. I mean, I have heard of, well, actually, I was reading a quadology, which was a 5 novels written by an author, Roger Zelazny, and he was a very good science fiction and fantasy writer, more science and more outer worldly type. And there was this family he wrote about, and it was called the Amber Chronicles, and it starts out with the book Nine Princes in Amber, and actually these were he and his brothers and his family, and they were sort of like almost godlike, but they were mortal, and their world is the real world, and everything else, including Earth, is considered to be a reflection of, or an illusion of, or a creation of, or another dimension of the same world. And they would communicate by means of tarot cards. The tarot cards, their images were on the major arcana of the tarot
interesting.
cards. They would lay them
Interesting.
on, or to hold up and try to often teleport to wherever that person
Mm,
is, if they allow
interesting.
it. But yes, and I thought, wow, I love this idea of the tarot cards. Now I do know people use the zodiac to create their characters. They decide what they're going to
Oh yeah,
be. Yeah,
there's an
and
entire
I've never done any of
there's an
that.
entire
No.
yep, she has an entire formula for writing a book.
Mm,
And so the first thing that she suggests is that it's okay to follow the character descriptions. As tarot readers, it's kind of
mm-hmm,
a no-no to read the book while you're doing it, right? That would be
mm-hmm.
totally unprofessional. But while
Well,
you're
it's
while
yeah.
you're writing, that gives you not everyone is going to read tarot, but the nice thing is that it's not just for mystics and seers anymore. I have a book called Tarot for Psychology, where
Wow.
psychiatrists use it and they spread the pictures on a table, and they tell the customer or the client to pick 9 cards out that represent their life as they see them spread out on the table, and then they ask them to describe what in their life made them drawn to that card. And in the same way, it says you're going to start out, first of all, shuffling your cards. So, Joseph, I would like you to do an example for us.
Okay, well, I'll shuffle. And I even
So,
pre-shuffled
this
before
is
the show started.
you are you are going to do a cast of characters. So this is the
Okay.
cast of characters. It says, when you're ready to assemble the cast of your next story, deal yourself a starting hand. Begin with one character at a time. You'll want to include, first of all, we're going to do the hero. And the hero is called the protagonist, right?
Oh, how many cards should I lay out for this?
Why don't we start out with
Would I do
5
3?
cards?
5? Okay, 1, 2,
No,
3,
no,
4,
5,
5.
because we're going to 5 cards.
Okay.
The first
All right.
card is going to represent the hero.
Oh, well, he is the Knight of Cups, and the Knight of
And so,
Cups is a young he's a young hero, and I would say he's romantic, and the Knight of Cups. Cups often are love, and he is sort of that gentle sort of nature. Definitely.
how old is
I,
he?
I, oh, he's young. He'd be like
Hmm.
under 40. Yeah. Yeah, I mean,
Okay.
he'd be a young man, I would say. Yeah, I would say put him in his, looking at this card, I'd say he was one of these, um, I would say he's about 20 something, mid
So
20s, because he's a knight.
so
Yeah, yeah.
so if you were to
He
have a
can't
piece
be
of
an old
paper, the,
knight. Yeah.
yeah, the first thing you'd write down on your piece of paper for your hero is a young knight or a young warrior, right? Type,
Okay.
maybe.
Yes. Or
Um,
perhaps even a prince, because
okay, this.
sometimes knights are considered to
Okay,
be princes as well. You know,
yeah. The next card is going to be your
Prince Charming.
antagonist, which is the opponent of the first card, or the guy that's going to be he's dueling with through the story. What is your second
Well,
card?
well, I drew up the Six of Cups, and this is somebody that is, somebody from the past, somebody who's been a problem before. And this is somebody who doesn't take responsibility. This is the kind of person who is against him. This is somebody who doesn't have any self-control and is just sort of all over the road, can't really, it's not somebody that a person can trust. And actually, this person might have stolen some money, perhaps a large sum of
Mm,
money.
from the hero.
Yes, from the hero or from somebody that affects the hero. Like it may have
Okay.
happened and the hero heard about it and thought, uh-oh. It might have happened to a
Okay.
friend of the hero. So,
How old is this person?
I would say this person is a little bit older than the prince or the knight, I would say. I would say
And
he's a mature.
what does he
Hmm.
look like?
Oh, he wears a
What
hood.
cups? Oh, he
Yeah,
wears a hood.
he wears a hood, and he has like a jacket, and he wears a hood over it, and he's just kind of very unappealing, certainly not very stately. A sort of, he's sort of a greedy type, and so they get kind of, that's sort of what he's like.
Okay, the
What do you
middle card is
think?
going to. I think yeah, this is your story, Joe. The
Oh, it
middle
is?
one
Oh,
is
dear.
the yes. The middle
Okay.
one is the hero's sidekick.
Well, the hero sidekick, I drew the Eight of Pentacles. And this is somebody who is a sidekick who always reminds the prince to be aware of little details, things that the prince can't be bothered with or is just too busy being charming to deal with. And this is somebody who is always checking for accuracy. And I would say it's a very sort of the wet blanket of the two, but you need to have one of those, as a
It
sidekick,
could be.
because the prince is very, outgoing, and this is somebody that actually is very skilled, and this is
A
a good person. Well,
master of some sort.
yeah, a master of, I would say, if the prince were a rock star, this would be the manager taking care of everything. taking care of the details,
Mhm.
and so
So
that this person
this would
do what
be
they do best.
this
Yes.
this would be the mini me of Dr. Evil, or the Ethel of Lucy, or the Smee of Captain Hook type person. I mean, that's what the sidekick would be.
Oh,
That
the
that
sidekick, but the sidekick, I thought with the sidekick was on our hero side.
It
Was
is.
that? Oh,
Captain
okay. But you
Hook's
see, oh, well,
Dr.
I see
Mini
him
Me was
more.
Dr.
Well,
Mini.
see, but the Eight of Pentacles depicts more of a diligent, sort of detail-minded person.
Well, maybe
Somebody.
he's a real space case. Maybe he's so busy being
Yeah,
romantic that
yeah,
he just
yeah.
doesn't. He just
Uh,
needs to get his ass kicked once in a while by someone that loves him.
right, right, right. Well, this is hmm. Okay, so he does have this sidekick, and so then our fourth card would be what?
The
What kind of?
opponent's sidekick. The opponent's
Oh,
sidekick.
oh. Well, the opponent's sidekick is a disaster. Um, it's he's got a very insecure sidekick, is what it is. And this is a person who's had some loss and is just a big loser. I mean, really, it doesn't do anything very well. I don't even know why this person would pick him as a sidekick. But then again, the other guy's not so great either. So I guess the pickings are slim. I would say that this person is just, isn't really even a good sidekick. And I guess it's really true when they say there's no honor among thieves. But I'd say it's an appropriate
Right.
side. Our, our antagonist, yeah, definitely.
And the fifth card is going to represent your supportive character that kind of keeps the story going. It could be the taxi cab driver, or the person that goes in and out of the story that really can be kind of almost
Hmm.
nameless, but he keeps the stuff going.
Okay.
What is the fifth card you have?
Well, the fifth card I have is the Eight of Wands. And basically, the people around our protagonist, and the world around him is one that's afraid of changes. And actually, they're willing to accept the theft of any gold around them, to avoid trouble. They don't want to, see, the prince is different, but these people need us. That's the sort of the atmosphere in which she lives in, is sort of a bunch of people around him that, though they are supportive of him, but they're willing to accept this thievery because they don't know what else to do. They just can't make a decision. They sort of have a wishy-washy um, governor of sorts, someone that would wait
Okay.
so long that the decision is made for them. They won't make it themselves, but they wait long enough, and then yes, it's going to be made.
All right.
It's right. I mean, do nothing,
So
and
if
things
so,
will
I'm
take
going to
care
do a real
of
quick. I'm going to do a quick one here. I'm just I'm using my giant cards because my cards are so faded that they don't even show. And I thought
itself.
maybe I would give an example through what the cards do. And
So, what do you think
so
of
if
this
I
story?
have,
So, where's the story going to
I
go
think
now
that's
from here?
okay.
Well,
Okay. So, okay. You
so,
have your story. I'm going to do, I have to do mine now. Okay.
okay, okay, go ahead.
So I have five cards. I have, oh my, oh my. Hmm. Um, all reversed. The first one that I have is the Hierophant,
Oh.
which would indicate the story's hero is perhaps in my imagination somebody that is on the mission of becoming a holy man, or somebody that is on or somebody that is discovering their mission as a spiritual person.
Mm-hmm.
The second one I have, and this would be the opponent, is the fool, but it's reversed.
Uh-oh.
So that would indicate that the enemy of the holy man is somebody that doubts him and fills him with constant doubt, trying to destroy his ego, trying all the time to wear him down, to test his abilities and create insecurity. The third thing that I have is, and this would be the, okay, what was that again? The third one
Oops.
is, the third one, sorry, the third one is the sidekick of the hero. And interestingly, I come up with a world.
Oh.
And the world would indicate that perhaps there is a greater entity speaking to the holy man. Perhaps this story is about how no matter how many naysayers are doubting him, in the story, his sidekick is an angel or a spirit or somebody that directs him to a greater good. The sidekick of the enemy is a control freak, the emperor. So that would indicate to me that he represents the material side, the people, the situations on earth that are saying, you can't do that, you idiot. And so that says to me the story, we have a guy that wants to be a holy man with a naysayer doubter that wants to bring him down, with the deity of a spiritual, magical essence that is leading the holy man to his mission, while the sidekick of his enemy is some kind of dark, negative control freak. And the last thing it says is this is a tragic story, because it says that continually through the story, justice is reversed. So it's all about how this holy man goes through his journey, facing one crisis after another. And all of the shadow people in the journey are people that get in his way and develop the story. And that's what I have. So anyway, now, are you still there?
Yeah, we
Still there?
froze temporarily, didn't we?
Okay. Yeah.
I saw the picture just
Okay.
suddenly freeze. Yeah, so I didn't hear what you were saying. It just all I saw was just a still photo on the.
Okay.
So did you
So we're
tell
going
your
to go to
story?
your story.
Oh.
So for each character now, let's say if you are developing the characters, you're going to pull 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 cards on that one hero.
Oh, wow.
And the questions that you're going to ask, is it a man or woman? How old is he? Well, you already answered those things.
Yeah.
What do they look like?
Mm-hmm.
What do they do for a living? What do they do in their spare time? Are they married? Do they have kids? Do they have pets? And what do they
He's
fear?
single.
So for each of your characters, yeah, definitely. For your character, each of your characters and your plot, you're going to do that. Now, in one of the things, and I think we already were going along doing that, don't you think?
Yeah. Plus, I like to make my main
So,
character and protagonist single and available and attractive, because that gives the reader something to think about. No matter what
yeah,
sets they are, the reader
yeah,
should be thinking, I might be able to date that character.
yeah.
So,
Well, it sounds like this is a
if
romance
they were
novel for
real.
you.
Yeah. Well, I don't know.
Okay,
Well,
now,
we start out with the Prince with the Cups. I mean, it's a very lovey, gentle sort of character. So I would put him in either a romance or something where, okay, maybe somebody stole that evil person stole gold from his princess, for all we know.
Okay.
Or did
And
something mean to her father's kingdom, so he's, and since he is so interested in, so that's how you get to your princess, is that you have to you have to do something wonderful so that the king will say, oh, I approve, that's wonderful.
right,
Take my daughter, please.
right. So for those of you who are writing your story with us today, first you pulled 5 cards to make the characters of your story, and then you're going to pull 5, 6, 7, however many cards you want on each character to help you to describe the personality and the conflicts of that person. Now, here's where the conversation comes. A lot of people have problems with conversation in stories because it feels like to a lot of people, they can describe, they can tell what's going on, but it's very difficult. And one of the things, Stephen King uses tarot to write stories.
I didn't know
And
that.
yeah, it says Stephen King
That's
uses
interesting.
tarot. And wouldn't it also explain why and how he just keeps coming up with more and more stories?
Well, I always wondered
And
how he
as
cranked them out. But still, it would
and
take me,
yes,
but still, I mean, we're talking, he is very skilled with the dialogue so
oh
well.
yeah,
I mean, because
oh
as you know,
yeah,
the tarot doesn't really create your dialogue for you. You have to you have to fill that all in. Now that you have your outline there with your tarot, and we know what the story is, we know what the situation is and who the characters are, but then we have those details of making it look real, making it feel real with dialogue. And dialogue, of course, is used to advance the story, but you don't want to make it sound like you're both a couple of narrators. It has to
right,
come very naturally. The information flow has to come in such a way where you're not going, oh, you're explaining things to me.
right,
You
right.
want to make
It
the
has to
reader
flow.
forget that they're reading is what it
It has to
is. And
flow.
yeah, right. But you see that all
Now,
those
now
little
here's
things, yeah, he's very skilled with that. I will say that was one of the reasons why I enjoyed when I first started to read, when I first discovered Stephen King. I didn't discover him, but
he's brilliant,
when I
brilliant storyteller. And and you know who else did?
books to read. So, yeah, yeah.
You know who else used
Pardon?
tarot to write stories? You know who else?
Yeah.
John
Agatha
Steinbeck.
Christie? Oh, John Steinbeck.
No,
Really?
and that was way before tarot was even popular.
Wow, that's really interesting. I guess it would help if you, like say if you have
Well,
writer's
can
block,
you
even if it's not your typical
writer's
thing.
block?
Yeah, I can see it helping in that situation. Or maybe if you just, maybe like you have your thought, you have your idea, you have your characters, but sometimes your starting point is kind of difficult. A lot of times you're stuck on that first opening line. And so it wouldn't hurt. I'd say it wouldn't hurt to do a layout on your character. That character you
Right.
created, do the layout. This is the character
And
in
here's
this
what
situation.
and yep,
Interesting.
and here's how you make the conversation. It says when you use the cards to develop characters, the cards begin to tell you about themselves as you are telling the story with the cards. So imagine the figure in the card is a real person sitting across from you and that you are doing an interview with them. So it just says as you build the story, it says you will start to notice a conversation going on in the cards, and you're the interviewer. Now here's the beginning, the middle, and the end of the story. 3 cards. Joseph, ready?
Okay. 3 cards.
You're going to make the beginning middle, and end of the story. 3 cards.
Okay. Well, our story starts out with temperance turned upside down, and it starts out as a very volatile period in a very volatile atmosphere. It seems like there's just so many things going on. It's the situation of this of the setting of the story is full of lots of fighting and arguments. It is certainly a turbulent time. So now our second card. Now
Which
our
is
second card is
that
the
would
middle of
be
the
that
story.
would be that would be the middle of your story, or that would
Okay. Well,
be
in the middle of the story, it was decided that it was
the problem.
time.
That this is going to be this is
Oh,
going
the
to be the
problem.
second card. The problem, the incident or event that triggers the action and kickstarts the story.
Well, they know how to. There is a way to fix the problem. However, it's going to take the Ace of Swords, and actually, they know what to do, and their direction is certainly they know what they want to do. However, they are going to be very, very, very guarded in their approach. And so, but they are certainly looking to change their situation. And the problem, however, is that they do need the force to break through on
The force is with them.
Yeah, they need the elbow. They need the muscle is what they need. They know what to do. The problem is they don't have the muscle, and they just need to move in that direction, and they need guidance. So now we get to the third card, and what is that going to be?
That's the ending part of your story.
The ending?
What it comes down. Yeah.
Actually,
the beginning, the middle, and the ending.
A protector does actually come to their aid. However, it is the Three of Swords, and it's upside down. It is inverted. So they do have help. They do get the help in getting their goal. But this person has another idea in mind. Also, is that they're not really being honest with the protagonists that they've helped. So it looks like we're open for a sequel of what else is this person going to do.
You've got a movie here, huh?
Yes,
a continuing
movie. Actually, what's happened here is that another villain has moved in and has helped you against the other villain, but now you have this new villain. And that's how the story ends with, you won the fight, but something else is coming. And so that will be our sequel.
All right. Okay, the ending, okay, and then we're going to go to our people in our room, but I do want to finish this. Okay, now shuffle again.
Okay.
This is called the pyramid. This is the pyramid. And what it's going to do is
okay.
I'll tell you as we go.
And how many cards do we lay out?
7.
7. Okay, and then our first card
represents the mood, the basic facts.
Well, the basic facts, I still get this guy with the greed. It's the same card I pulled before, the Six of Cups upside down, and it's that greedy man. And it's the greed. Greed is the mood here, and possibly some theft. And again, this person saying, I didn't do it. So that is the mood. Okay.
Okay.
With just an
attitude. Now we're going to look at the problem. The card number 2 represents the problem. You're getting more into the gist.
Okay. Well, what I picked up was the Tower upside down, and so in
Oh,
a
he's acting
situation in
like he's
which
a
those
friend.
around.
He's two-faced. He's two-faced.
He's two-faced, and actually he has also put people in a situation where they don't have a choice. You know, they
Mm-hmm.
have to pick him. They have to go along with him because they have lost their pride and their prestige. So what's next?
The card number 3 represents the complications, the twists, the turns.
Well, we have the Knight of Swords, and he's upside down. But he's another young man, perhaps a prince, but this one's impulsive and opinionated. And oh my, he's just doing it all wrong. But the intentions are good. The intentions are good. But he's a rather hot-headed knight, though, and he is sure to crash and burn. And what he's trying to do. He might be thinking, I can do this. I got it. No, I don't.
Mm-hmm. Right.
No, he doesn't.
Number
Um,
4 represents the climax. What is the peak story when crisis is full blown?
Well, actually, there is a new, but this night, in what he tried to do, and even though he did it badly, he did create a new understanding amongst the people. And actually, the other people were energized by this, and this is represented in the Three of Cups, and it's right side up, which indicates a good omen, a good harvest, and abundance for all. There's a new understanding of what's really important and what happiness really is, and it is there comes from this a very strong sense of community.
All right, and the 5th card represents the falling action. After the climax, the action dies down and the characters start to make their way back home. What do you have for that?
Well, somebody's upset with this, though, even though there has been this wonderful victory. We have judgment upside down, and somebody is out for revenge.
All right. Number 6 represents the resolution. This sounds like it's getting crazy. Number 6, the resolution ends the story, close the story, leaving no questions in a reader's mind.
She is the Deus ex machina. She's the one that comes right out and says she's the Queen of Cups, and she is a practical, lovely, loving, and romantic person. Possibly, I would say, let's see, she is one of those perfect people, and she is kind and sympathetic, and she tries very hard to counteract this revenge by working with it, because she is so, what'd she say, diplomatic and nurturing.
And the last card is the untying, the unraveling, all complications bringing the story to its end.
Well, after some ruthless exploits, as we see in the chariot turned upside down, which means really there will still be this obsession with money, as it will continue, as no kingdom is perfect. However, the queen, though, doesn't succeed with her diplomatic ways, and they are defeated. And what we have here is a dictatorship obsessed with money taking over, and that's how it ends.
Take a bow, Joe. Thank you for being my guinea pig for the book, Tarot for Writers. and it is by Corrine Kenner, and it is much more I mean, it gets much more into detail than, but it's a wonderful, wonderful book for people who have that desire to finish or write a book or writer's block, and it helps you through using tarot to finish, write, or make an amazing story. And that's what we were doing today with Joseph and his story. So, thank you again, Joseph.
Well, that was a great example, though. I mean, if people really wanted to see how, we just did this cold. I mean,
Uh-huh.
I think if a person really works at it, they can do something with it.
I think so. I think
that's
all right.
Yeah, I think really. Okay, let's do it.
So we're going to go to Renee, who's in our room. Hello, Renee. How are you today?
Hi, how are you?
I'm doing great.
Story.
Well, it was the writing of the story and how to go about doing it that was today's subject matter. And I think
I thought it was
it's
very
going
cool.
to help a lot. Yeah.
And what's the lady's name again? Doreen what?
Corrine Kenner, Kenner. And if you go to my blog, all the information is there. And it's the Achieve Radio blog. So, what are you looking for today, Miss Renee?
Well, I'll tell you one thing. You were both right. I got a call. I didn't get a call. My girlfriend told me about a job. She called the third week of March. It wasn't for March, I didn't think. It could have been the last weekend or beginning of April for 2 weeks, but I couldn't do it. So I'm putting out for the same kind of work, but for the way I can do it. So when I feel there's more work coming this month, but I want to be able to do it. So my health improves a lot in the issues, and I don't have any problems. I know I'm still going to be working on something for another couple months, but I still should be able to do some of the work just a little bit different than they wanted. I'm looking for the way I can do it.
Sounds good. We only have 13 minutes, so I'm going to do a one-card reading, and I get the sun. And the sun indicates a lot of vibrant energy, a lot of hope, a lot of health for you, and the number on it is 19. So we're going to assume that within 19 days to 19 weeks at the most, there is a sense that you're going to get great news, have a great job, and you're going to be feeling great. What do you have, Joseph?
Well, I got the Six of Pentacles, and actually that shows that she's going to have more financial control over her life. It's a very good omen, and I do see that it will become easier to make payments, and that must mean that more work is coming in, and finances are going to look good for you. Now, I pulled the 6, and Anne-Marie said 9 weeks, 19 weeks or so. I'm seeing 6. 6 could be June, maybe, or later. Yeah. Things may start around with 6s, and we'll end up with the 19. Could be maybe the start of 6 weeks, and then through 19 weeks you'll notice. Yeah, but I do see that things are going to improve. Yeah, that's more work, more opportunities, definitely.
All right. Well, thank you, Renee. We have to go because we have such limited time.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you so much. Your stories were great,
Good
and
luck.
I hope to hear them again.
All right, hon. Bye-bye. Hey, Miss
Bye-bye.
Hawaii girl, how are you? Are you living in Hawaii now or not in Hawaii?
Yes, I am living in Hawaii. Thank you. How are you folks?
Yes, doing great. What can we do
Pretty
for you
good.
today?
Well, I was wondering if I'm on the right path career-wise before I take the big leap to get my finish my schooling.
What is the career move you want to make?
I'm teaching.
Okay, Joseph, is the teaching the right for her? Let's keep it short.
Well, Okay, I drew the eight of oh, I'm sorry, the Five of Cups, and I am seeing that that there's some stress currently that you have right now. But I do see that that it seems like you've had some really recent disappointment, and this card is reminding you that even though you have conflicting emotions, these are the things that do make life interesting, but you're also being reminded that disappointment will pass and things you will get back on track, and you will find what you need. See, the Eight of Cups upside down, it shows, well, of course, if your cup is upside down, it's not going to hold very much. So, and that's the disappointment that I see. But I would say this too shall pass. I see that a few things might not work out. Perhaps they haven't been, but they will. Okay, and I would say with the fives, perhaps I would say maybe, well, May is the fifth month, so it could be anything from maybe the month of May through the month of May. Maybe perhaps you'll see some better opportunities. What do you think, Anne Marie?
I'm going to say that, and I'm going to keep it very short. The first thing that I pull up is the Chariot. And the Chariot usually represents that you like to have leadership. You like the ability to be able to lead and teach people's lives and bring them to their best self. And this says that teaching is that perfect opportunity for you to do so. However, I don't read past 12 months, so when I show the world upside down, it says, do understand that could mean that you won't be able to step into teaching right away, either because you have more schooling, or it can mean that, you know what, even though teachers are so desperately needed in this world, they are often underpaid. So understand that to teach means that you have to love what you do, love the fact that you're leading people to better missions in their life, but also understand that sometimes it's not a very grateful job. It doesn't get a lot of gratitude. But you'll always have those students that remember you all their life, that you changed. So that's what I get. Okay?
Yeah, yeah. And like I said,
Thank you. Thank
like,
you.
if you don't get right away and if you're disappointed, keep trying it because, that will pass. A lot of times it's hard getting out of the gate, sometimes, but keep trying, really,
Okay. Thank you
try
so
different.
much.
Absolutely.
You're welcome, sweetie.
Thank
Okay,
you.
I'm
Okay,
going to
bye-bye.
go. Bye, love. Okay, I want to go to Chris. Hello,
Bye-bye.
Chris. How are you?
How you doing, Avery?
Hey, baby. How are you, Chris?
I'm doing good.
What's going on with what? Doing good, Chris. We have to do short readings today. So can we just pull an angel reading for you today, babe?
That's cool.
That's cool? That's okay?
Chris.
All
Yeah.
right. You sound kind of
Okay.
sad about that.
Yeah.
Well, okay.
We'll
It's just
we'll
because
do it.
we now have only 7 minutes and 4 more people. So
Okay.
if I look at Chris, and Chris, we're going to look at Chris, baby. And Chris, when I look at what comes up representing your summer, it says the Chariot. This is a good year for you to be able to have more control in your life, to feel like a stud muffin, to be able to do what you want to do. But remember, you have to take the reins of the horse. You can't expect others to do it for you. So choose what you want to do with your summer and then go after it. That's what your guides are telling you today. What do you have, Joseph?
I got the Ace of Wands, and it's right side up, and that means new beginnings. And I'd say
Hey.
it's very positive omen. I would say you're going to accomplished a lot if you're trying to do that. Work and career related, because wands are work really basically in career, sort of like your worldly life. And if you have been having a hard time in this area, this card is telling you that things are going to be getting much better soon. It's very likely. And even in love, actually, if you're single and if you're looking for a new relationship, make yourself available for whatever makes sense to you. I mean, draw what, be presentable, because you never know. And if you're already committed, your relationship might undergo some new beginnings. It might be revitalized if you're bored. So I say looks good.
Thanks, Chris.
Okay, I'm done.
Bye.
You're fine.
Okay, we have Jan from LA, and she says she needs a quick reading for the next few months. I think we really have to stick with 1 card readings or 2 card readings at the most. That's all we have, Jan. So
right.
we have 5 minutes. Jan,
on this. Okay, well, I'll just go here. I'll just do it now. I drew the 5 of Pentacles, and they're upside down actually, and that would mean that I would say she's probably unhappy with a new job or something. She's done something different that she's not really happy with, and actually. She's been feeling a little insecure, but really what she needs to do is that she needs to reach out to some of her friends a bit more. Don't try to deal with things on your own. You do have people around you that like you, so it wouldn't hurt to talk to them. But it just says that you might be feeling left out in the cold, and it's not really true. You have to just make the call. Okay, go on, Anne Marie.
So, so what I have is the Tower, but it's reversed, which means that you are in the process. Even if it isn't exactly what you want, like Joseph says, you are doing what you need to do to take care of a problem. So the next 4 months, try not to go into disaster mode or unhappiness. You are doing what you need to do to fix your life and be happy with that. Okay, so we're looking at It will be better. Joseph from California says, hi, can you check my finances for the next couple of months? Again, we'll have to do 1 or 2 card readings. We're at 3 minutes, 45 seconds. 3 minutes.
Oh my, let's do your finances.
Just 1 card because we are at 3 minutes.
All right. Well, actually, I got the High Priestess. And what I do see is that you're going to be pretty busy with this. I would say you're being encouraged to remain calm. Don't overreact. You have to work on this. You have to work on your finances, actually, and you are being encouraged to pay more attention. But I would say it seems like they're telling you that you already know what you have to do to make your situation better. You already know how to improve your finances. And so all you need to do is take that direction, my friend, and that would be a good step. You know what to do.
Take that direction and be happy, because I have the sun. And the sun says is pure happiness, pure joy, and lots of financial increase. So it looks great for you. We have to take somebody that's in the chat room, or in the other chat room, that has been waiting. And Kealoha. I can't pronounce it. Kealoha. And it says, hi, I wanted to see if I would have a reading about my finances for the future. Okay, so another one, and then...
All right.
Guess what's on everybody's mind?
I guess so. I had some sticky cards here too, and I drew the. Oh, you want to go?
No, I'm still shuffling.
Okay. I drew the 5 of Swords reversed, and basically with finances, it means that you got some conflicts here, but you need to keep a cool head and look at what's causing this. Check over your math. You might have made a mistake. Check your balances, and it seems like there's just something you overlooked, but work through it. Don't just, don't panic. Just work through it very calmly. And actually, I see them working out pretty good.
I have the world.
Yeah, yeah.
The world indicates keep your focus in front of you. Look at one thing at a time. Don't be spreading your finances too wide and scattered. Keep your eye on the road, one thing at a time. You'll get through great. Mm-hmm. Okay. We have just 59 seconds left. I'm so sorry, everybody. Stephanie, sorry. Zoe says the show's been awesome. Thank you. And we are, Stephanie, going to have to get you from South Dakota next time. Thank you so much, Joe, for being on the show. And write a book. You. Get yourself some tarot. Write a book. Watch this from the beginning. See how Joseph put his story together. You'll love it.
It's fun. Take care.
Yeah.
Bye-bye.
Psychic radio, holistic radio, spiritual radio. This is AchieveRadio.com. Follow us on Twitter at twitter.com/AchieveRadio.